Hey everyone, welcome back. Alright, let's pick back up. So...
Done.
I mean, searching this, I don't remember if I searched this yet. Nothing in it. Alright, so let's go through the next door. We're gonna want to find that embalming fluid now. Ooh, a discolored zombie.
Okay. Sure, why not?
The shambling corpse gazes at you with vacant eyes. The number 821 is carved into its forehead, and his lips have been stitched closed. The faint smell of formaldehyde emanates from the body. So, seen anything interesting going on? As you address the zombie, it blinks in surprise. What? Hey, you're not a zombie, who are you?
Updated my journal.
The zombie is trying to respawn behind stitched lips. He has a peculiar, half-frightened, half-angry expression. Who you? What you want? I'm looking for a way out of here. Can you help me? The zombie doesn't seem to have heard you. He looks you up and down for a few moments and frowns. What you do here? His eyes narrow suspiciously. You spy on Dusties? I'm not a spy. I got sealed in here by accident. Can you help me out? He is silent for a moment, then nods slightly, as if understanding. Why should I help you? Because I need your help. The zombie gives a half sneer. Everybody needs something, but nobody gives anything. You give me something, maybe I help. How about you help me and I won't call for the guards? He looks you up and down as if wondering if he can take you, stares at your scars, then decides against it. Huh. You can escape through portals. Portals? Portals. Zombie waves around the area. Portals everywhere. Can you show me one of these portals? The zombie nods. You want out? Go to Arch, on first floor, northwest room. You need finger bone, shape of a crook. He then holds up his index finger and bends it into a crook. When you have key, go to Arch, jump to secret crypt, and can escape from there. Secret escape route. He nods eagerly. You can rest there. Crooked finger bone. I'm gonna find one of those.
Updated my journal.
He shrugs. Must be round somewhere. Look in storage rooms on upper floor. Maybe there. Very well. I'll check upstairs for this crooked finger bone, then head to the first floor to one of the arches in the northwest room. Got it. Interesting. A fake zombie. He's probably spying on the dustman then. He makes a pretty good zombie. I like the mohawk. Another dissecting room. Someone has inserted a tube into this corpse's leg. The tube is attached to a strange clicking machine next to the slab. It must be filling him with fluid. The blood on this table is still fresh.
All right.
What's up? Yeah?
Hey! Got the fluid. Embalming fluid. +2 through 8 hit points, +1 to armor class. Usable only by the Nameless One and Mort. This is a sealed jar of embalming fluid. It is used as a preservative for dead bodies. As an added benefit, the smell of the fluid is more than sufficient to mask the smell of any rotting bodies it is used on. Effects are temporary. So it's like an aid spell, in that it gives you temporary hit points and makes you a little harder to hit. We should definitely look at everything. Dry blood covers the slab's surface.
Locked.
Okay, so much for that.
Sure, why not?
So we need a key somewhere.
All right.
Or there must be
Good
another
as
key.
done.
Locked.
Okay, so... that's everything we can explore. Did I miss the... oh! Here's a way up? Alright, so this is the bottom floor. Well, we have the needle and thread and the embalming fluid, so let's
Done.
give these back to Evine. Fantastic job, by the way, on the art for this. This place looks amazing.
Huh?
So she's removing all the organs from the body, I guess hollowing them out. You see Evine. She is still dissecting the corpse's chest with her talons. The rhythm of the talons reminds you of something, but you can't recall what. Oh, let's watch her, study the motions of her hands.
Updated my journal.
As you study the motion of Evine's hands, you feel a prickling along your scalp, and then suddenly, you find your vision swimming, blurring, until... you are standing in front of a freshly slain corpse, rigor mortis making a mockery of its smile. The number 42 has been stitched onto its scalp. The zombie is lying on a slab, and you have just finished stitching up its chest. You have placed something inside. Something that may prove useful if you come this way again. Keep these things safe, and wait for my return. The memory of your voice is an echo, strange and hollow to your ears. You cross your arms in front of your chest, and to your surprise the corpse does too. After a moment, its hands fall back to their sides, and as it does, the vision fades, until you are watching Evine's hands make their stitching motions once more. You have regained a memory. Memories can give you additional experience points, skills, and may even lead to you gaining something else of value later on. This is also why you want a high wisdom score. Other stats also improve your chances depending upon what you use them at, but wisdom I think plays the most part in helping to determine if you actually are able to recover the memory, or if you only are aware of it and then it fades from you. Alright, let's get her attention. She turns, sees you, then frowns. Dumb zombies. She clacks her talons fingers together impatiently, then makes a stitching motion with her fingers. Find thread and embalming fluid. Bring here to Evine. Go, go, go. Here we have it.
Updated my journal.
Without missing a beat, Evine snaps the thread from your hands and hooks it around one of her talons, then begins sewing up the corpse's chest. She then takes the embalming fluid and begins to apply a layer to the corpse. We'll wait. Within minutes, she is finished. She clicks her talons, then turns to face you. To your surprise, she extends her hand and drags her talons along your arms and chest. It's not that I'm flattered, but... looks like you have a new friend, Chief. You two need some time together, or stow it, Mort? As she traces your arms and chest, you suddenly notice she seems to be examining your scars. She withdraws her talons, clicks them twice, then bends forward and examines some of the tattoos on your chest. Huh. Who write on you? Hivers do that? Respect for zombies. Zombies, not paintings. She sniffs, then pokes one of your scars. This one, bad shape. Many scars. No preserves. Her talons suddenly hook into the thread you brought her, and lightning-like she jabs another talon into the skin near one of your scars. It feels barely more than a pinprick, but it looks like she's about to start stitching you up. Let's let her work. The embalming fluid and the stitches both were positive effects, so let's see what she can do with them.
Updated my journal.
Oh nice, we earned +1 maximum hit point. So you can see if you get any bonuses. You see it floating up here? Maximum hit points increase permanently, max hit points +1. The sensation is curiously painless, as Evine begins to stitch up your scars. When she is done, she sniffs you, frowns, then stabs her fingers into the embalming fluid. Within minutes, she has dabbed your body with the fluid, and strangely enough, it makes you feel better. Let her work. This may be the second time in my life I'm thankful I don't have a nose. E-Beam puts the last touches on your body, gives you another sniff, nods, then makes a shooing motion with her hands. Done. Go, go. Nice.
All right.
+1 max hit point. Alright, so I guess there's nowhere else for us to go down here.
All right.
So let's go back up a floor. Or rather, back up a floor. Let's go up a floor and see what's... well, what awaits us up a level. I would imagine the key to maybe open this and get into this room will be there.
Good as done. What?
As long as some of your companions are close to you, or rather all of them, I guess, you can have any one person click on a staircase to do the transition. I hear a fire or something.
All right.
What is this? Charcoal Charm. Plus 50% resistance to fire, plus 25% resistance to magical fire. This piece of charcoal is a charred bone fragment of some creature, perhaps a finger bone or a talon. Various symbols have been scratched into its surface. The scratchings are so faint you almost missed them. This charcoal charm temporarily protects the user against flames and extreme heat. To use the charm, the charred bone is snapped, and both halves are ground to powder. Then the charcoal dust is rubbed over the heart of the user. I actually think I hear the sounds of a fire somewhere. The air roaring from the mouth of this immense furnace is incredibly hot. Walking even a few steps past the archway would certainly cause the hairs and flesh to burst into flame. Oh, wow. This must be the crematorium. Skeleton worker. This skeleton, number 748, according to the number chiseled above its brow, is odd only in that some of the teeth appear to be false ones made of reddish-brown stone. They're clearly not valuable, however, as its caretakers would have otherwise removed them. Let's examine him. Someone has taken care to bind the bones of this skeleton with leather straps woven around the body in such a pattern that they resemble muscles and tendons. The straps are secured to metal bolts punched into the skeleton's joints. This skeleton looks like it has seen a great deal of service. Many of its bones are chipped, and its numerous fractures are bound with sealant and foul-smelling glues. Wow. So, as the zombies' flesh eventually deteriorates, these people still use the bodies as skeletal workers. I can't imagine being resurrected and being used as a slave. Well, not resurrected, I guess. It's just your body is being used this way. That must be so disturbing. I don't really need anything from it, so we'll leave it in peace. I wonder if this Greybeard would mind if I borrowed his body. Greybeard. Greybeard, you know, geezer, old fellow, yellow dog, old. Well, I don't think he's in any position to object. Why not take his body? Mort studies the skeleton for a moment, then shakes his head. Nah, I need a fresher one than this, and something with a little more dignity. This one's all creaky and fractured. Alright then, let's go.
I'm gone. All right. All right.
Oh, there are dustmen around here too. I guess they don't see me yet? This mummified corpse looks like it's bound from the crematorium. Oh, yeah, look at all the paths that lead there.
All right.
You there, hold! Oh, he saw us. The dustman regards you with a stony gaze. Are you lost? No. If you're not lost, what is your business here? I'm here to see someone. Who are you here to see? I'm here to see Dahl. Dahl is most likely in the receiving room on the 2nd floor. He is quite busy, and not in the best of health. Unless you have pressing business, I would not disturb him. Very well, thanks for the information. The dustman nods and returns to his duties. Oh, nice. So because we actually learned his name and whatnot, I guess we're able to pull off that conversation, allowing us to explore without, I guess, him alerting the guards or something?
Done.
Despite this corpse's dry, leathery skin, it's clear this was once a beautiful woman of middle years. Whomever prepared the corpse seemed to take pity on her, sewing her bow lips shut with small, neat stitches, and tattooing the number 832 upon her forehead in elegant script. So, doing anything later? The corpse continues to stare at you. Oh well.
You don't need an identify spell to know what she wants.
Mort, that is awesome. Oh, more stitching. Perfect. Oh, junk. Alright, well, we don't need garbage.
What's up? Good as done.
I guess we'll be free to walk around as long as we don't loiter too long. This reanimated corpse has had its lips sewn together and the numbers 310 carved into its brow. The smell of formaldehyde permeates, the area around it. It turns its lifeless eyes upon you as you move to bar its path. Alright, so nothing interesting there. How about you, Mr. Walking Skeleton? The skeleton turns to face you. 42 has been chiseled into its forehead, and a number of its bones, mostly the jaws and the joints, have been bound with leather straps. A black smock is draped over its body. Oh, wow! When last we saw this, if our memory was correct, this was a freshly killed body, like a corpse. A fresh corpse. Now it's just bones. How many years have passed? I think this is the corpse I had that memory about. At the sound of your voice, the skeleton suddenly straightens up. It crosses its arms over its chest, and its fingers hook into its ribcage. We will do the same thing. In response, the skeleton drops its arms to its sides. The leather cords securing the skeleton's torso snap, and the ribcage folds outwards like a pair of double doors. Let's reach into the ribcage and feel around. To your surprise, your hand vanishes as you reach inside the ribcage. You have a strange feeling it's somewhere else. As you reach inside the ribcage, your hand bumps against an invisible object. It's about the size of a fist and seems to be attached to the skeleton's spine. Let's take it out. As you pull the item out, the skeleton suddenly disintegrates, and the iron bolt securing its joints clatter to the floor. Whatever this item was, it seems to have been the only thing holding it together. We'll examine it. It looks like an unremarkable lump of iron. You can't imagine why someone would hide it inside the ribcage of a skeleton. Let's examine the iron. As you place both your hands on the lump of iron to examine it, there is a hiss, and the metal evaporates, leaving behind a strange dagger, a handful of coins wrapped in a dirty cloth, and 2 bloody teardrops. These look like they were inside the lump of iron. Let's take them. A clot charm. Heals 9 hit points, gives me 5% resistance to slashing, and 10% resistance to piercing attacks. This glistening blood drop is as hard and smooth as a pearl. When placed on the tongue, it dissolves instantly and spreads throughout the character's bloodstream. The charm stimulates the user's blood into clotting and scabbing over existing wounds, healing any minor damage the user may have suffered before consuming the charm. Furthermore, as long as the charm is in effect, the player's blood becomes more aware of new wounds that occur, especially any attacks that draw blood. The charmed individual becomes more resistant to slashing and piercing attacks, as their blood clots and scabs over the wound as soon as the flesh is torn. Nice, we have 2 of them. This seems like an item I'd also want Mort to be able to use. Rags. This thick mass of rags look as if they were torn from the tapestry of someone's robes. And we can't equip it. I guess we can't really use it for anything, so we'll just leave it here. Steel green knife, 1 through 4, piercing. This razor-sharp knife has been forged out of the famed Batorian green steel. Found only in the wastelands of Avernus, this peculiar green ore can be tempered into metal much lighter than normal steel. In addition, green steel weapons tend to retain their remarkably fine edges and are capable of dealing out more damage than their standard counterparts. Hey, this does piercing, but this one does too, and this one does a little bit more damage. We'll take it. And what is this, by the way? A club. 1 through 6 crushing, but slower than my fist irons. This crude wooden club has seen better days, but it still looks sturdy enough to be used as a weapon. I guess we'll hold on to it. We can always maybe sell it later. Mort can carry it at the moment.
All right.
Alright, let's keep exploring this place then.
All right.
Assuming we won't have to make up different lies to talk to the other dustmen, then we have our out when it comes to being spotted by them. Oh, hello. These guys must be here for maintenance, I guess.
All right. All right.
Nothing in there.
I'm gone.
Oh, a crowbar! I remember the crowbar. 1 through 6 crushing. This iron pry bar can be used to pry open doors, chests, and even the occasional reluctant rib cage. It also makes a good bludgeoning weapon when there's no time for subtlety. So, we can now use this to force open locked things by attacking them. What have we here? Dustman request. A note written on a scrap of dry parchment. Contact the necromancer responsible for raising contractor worker number 42. I know he's examined the skeleton before, but I am certain the initial raising of the body was warped. The worker still responds to commands, but when it has completed a task, it resumes pacing in the same circular pattern as it did before. Dahl recently informed me that Worker 42 exhibited that same walking pattern when it was a zombie decades ago. There may be a soul echo in the marrow, or the skeleton's age may have caused the magic animating him to decay. One of the initiates suggested it may be following an order issued by a higher-ranking dustman in the past, but I have found no records of such an order. Whatever the reason for its behavior, the matter is to be resolved or the worker replaced. Oh, wow! So it's lucky that we actually were here when we were to get this stuff, and it's also... that was us who raised him originally. Oh, we also, as you can see, grabbed quite a bit of cash that was inside that little... that was inside the ribcage.
All right.
That lump of iron.
Locked.
Alright, so this is locked. We're going to try to bash it open.
Forced it. Done.
33 coins. And 2 more clot charms, it looks like. Can I split them? Oh, I know there's a way to split items, but I don't know off the top of my head. We'll give these to Mort.
Okay.
Let's take a look at all the workers. This corpse's meaty head was clearly severed at some point and hastily sewn back on. Several different sets of stitching, all in various states of unraveling, seem to indicate that the head is constantly being knocked back off and reattached during the course of its work. A number, 79, has been cut into its temple, circumscribed by a fanged circle that appears to be branded on its forehead. Let's examine this. The fanged circle looks like it was branded on the corpse's forehead long ago, presumably before it died. It might be a religious icon of some sort, or a rite of passage. You notice that one of the recesses between the inner fangs has a small triangle within it, as if it has some special significance. Interesting. How'd you get that mark there, zombie?
Updated my journal.
The corpse makes no reply. It looks like it is too far gone to answer any of your questions. Oh, that reminds me, we won't need, at the very least, that paper.
I'm gone.
This looks to be a corpse of a well-aged, even ancient woman. Aside from the embalming fluid stink, the stitches sealing her mouth, and the number 679 stitched onto her right cheek, it's likely she only looks slightly different now than she did in her final years.
Chief, if I don't come back, it's 'cause I'm gonna be dying the little death with that zombie chit.
This animated skeleton smells horrible, as if it had been only freshly stripped and prepared. Its jaw and major joints are tightly bound with leather straps, and a rough smock has been thrown over it. The number 1221 has been chiseled into its forehead. I have to ask, why the smock? I mean, it's not like you have anything to be modest about. The skeleton makes no reply. Alright, well, great talking to you, Bones. Stay healthy.
Done.
So let's equip a different weapon, just to have our dagger equipped. It's faster, so we'll beat an enemy when we attack. Oh, okay, so someone else has seen me. But she's not walking toward me. The numbers 613 are cut deeply into this plodding corpse's forehead, but an inch of shredded leathery skin separates the 1 and the 3. Looking closely, you can barely make out a 2 carved in there. Huh. Well, it was great talking to you. Farewell.
I'm gone.
What's the word? Good as done.
Done. All right.
I wonder if they actually just throw bodies down here on occasion. I don't think so. Oh, so they only walk a little bit
Sure, why not?
and then stare at me. Alright, we definitely want to investigate every single
Sure, why
zombie.
not?
This corpse's slightly misshapen head appears to be held together by a number of narrow metal bands bolted directly onto the skull. A rusting iron plate over its left eye has a number 475 etched into it. Its mouth is bolted shut, and it reeks of embalming fluid.
All right.
There's all sorts of people here. The dustman regards you with a stony gaze. Okay, so we know what to do here. So we say no. We say, I'm here to see someone. I'm here to see Doll. Thanks for the information.
All right.
Hey, cool, more stitchings.
Good as done.
All right.
Yeah?
I'm gonna try to leave Mort there so he blocks the entrance.
Done. Done.
Hey, cool, more bandages. Give those to Mort. I remember Mort not taking very much damage whenever he takes damage, so I think that will be useful to
Huh?
keep the bandages on him, since he'll be the one who's using them the most, I think.
All right. Locked. I failed.
Oh, okay, we can't bash that open. Oh, I actually don't have the thing equipped that I want equipped. That's why. Alright, so let's do this again.
Forced it. All right.
33 coppers, or if it's at 53 commons. 53, I think. Hey, a bone charm! Perfect, we need this to get out of here. And a corpse fly charm. Bone charm. +2 to armor class. +2 to armor class versus crushing attacks. Plus 15% resistance to crushing attacks. This old fingerbone charm has been hollowed out, and tiny symbols have been scratched onto its surface. A user must snap it in two to activate it. When snapped, the bone charm temporarily strengthens the user's skeleton and acts as a ward against breaks and fractures. The charm gives the user an overall bonus to their armor class and additional resistance against crushing attacks. Can't give it to Mort. It was who I would give it to. What's this? Corpse Fly Charm. Invoke Swarm Curse. This corpse fly looks as if it was frozen. It appears to be dead, but you can't be sure. The magic contained within the charm is activated when the insect is consumed. When swallowed, the recipient becomes extremely nauseous. After a few seconds later, the charmed individual expels a stream of insects from their nose and mouth. Provided the charmed individual can keep their wits about them after the casting, the caster can then send this cloud to attack a target. I remember really liking these a long time ago, because they do a lot of damage and they interrupt spellcasters. Or I seem to remember that being the case. Dustman Embalming Charm, Lesser. 3 charges, usable only on Nameless One and Mort. The strange metal bracelet has directions inscribed on the side of it. Judging from the crude text, it appears that the bracelet works by being held by a living creature. Then, while pronouncing a mantra to the true death, it is touched to the forehead of a zombie or skeleton. When this is done, the minor enchantment held within the item spreads to the corpse, strengthening their bones, killing traces of corpse rot and or grave mold, and helping to seal minor tears in the skin. Oh, you know what? We should try that on the zombie up above that's walking around with the gimped leg. Mortuary Task List. Someone has penned a series of tasks in red ink on this scrap of parchment. I would like the contracted workers to be inspected thrice daily at the end of each work shift when the new initiates come on duty. We have experienced too many contracted collapses while engaged in heavy labor as of late, and I fear the embalming enchantments initially used on the corpses may be decaying, or may have been warped somehow. If the contracted workers could be inspected every 8 hours and raised if they have collapsed, then this would prevent the backlog of shells in the preparation rooms and free up more contracted workers for other duties. I do not wish collapsed bodies to be disposed of when possible. The original contracted shells are to be raised and be made to resume their duties. I have included spare embalming charms within the shelves for the initiates on duty. They are to be used only when the shells cannot be repaired with stitching, bandaging, or applications of embalming fluid. Let's give this back to Mort. Or give it back to Mort, give it to Mort.
I'm gone.
Let's get it over with. So we say, we're not lost. I'm here to see someone. We're here to see Doll. Thank you for the information.
Done. All right.
More junk. The skin of this female corpse is heavily tattooed with intricate patterns. The skin of her brow has been peeled back so that the number 1148 could be chiseled into the skull beneath. Her mouth has been sealed shut with thick, rough stitching. Let's leave the corpse in peace.
Ooh, I want to be buried with her.
All right.
Oh, another dustman. Wow, they're all over the place here. Nope, we're not lost. I'm here to see Doll. Thank you for the information.
What?
A redskin zombie. The number 1146 is carved into the forehead of this walking corpse. Its lips are sewn together with coarse black thread. The entire body is covered in horrible scars, worse even than your own, as if its owner had been burned to death. Its nose, ears, and several digits are missing, presumably charred away in some long-ago conflagration. As you block its path to get its attention, it stops and gazes at you with vacant eyes. Let's leave it in peace. This skeleton has either seen a great deal of combat or has fallen down one too many staircases. Both its arms and legs have been broken and rebuilt with the aid of leather straps and thin iron rods. The front of its skull bears the numbers 863, but the back of the skull has caved in, forming an empty cavity. You notice that someone has taken advantage of this and tucked a rolled-up piece of parchment inside the skull. Well, we'll take it out. You slip the parchment out of the worker's skull. Oddly enough, it looks as if the skull cavity is intended to store messages. A tiny string is attached to the parchment from a hook bolted inside the skull, as if to keep the parchment from accidentally falling out. Let's unhook the string and take the parchment. You unhook the string and glance over at the parchment. It looks like a reminder from one of the mortuary custodians. Judging from the note, the skeleton seems to be a walking messenger of sorts. As you take a second glance at the skeleton, you realize it had stopped in front of the slab because it can't figure out how to move past it. This is the third and last request for the pry bar. If it has been misplaced, tell me, and I shall go to the Hive Market and purchase another. I have no objection to maintaining the contracted workers, but I have been trying to repair the skeletons, and the bolts are wedged in so tight I can't get them out. Also, some of the locks on the storage cabinets on the third floor have become stuck again due to the heat, and I need the pry bar to snap them open as well. If the pry bar is indeed lost, I will see about procuring the services of a locksmith and having the cabinet locks replaced. Your aid in this matter will be appreciated. An unreadable signature has been scrawled beneath the message.
Locked.
I'm gone.
I still don't know where to go. There is that one cabinet
Done.
down below. So I guess we'll check that out. And that would be back down these stairs.
What's up, Chief?
Right here. Maybe there's a key in here?
Forced it. I'm gone.
Ancient copper earring, closed. Unusable, closed. This copper earring looks ancient. Oddly enough, there doesn't seem to be a hook or any means of actually attaching it to your ear. A series of strange grooves have been carved on the inside of the earring, however, which might merit a closer look. Alright, let's use it. This copper earring looks extremely old. It looks as if it was meant to be worn, but there doesn't seem to be a hook or any means of actually attaching it to your ear. There is a series of strange grooves on the inside of the earring, however. Insert your fingernail into the notch that matches where the triangle was pointing in the fanged circle you saw on zombie number 79's forehead. You hook your fingernail into the third groove from the top and press it inwards. As you do, there is a click, and the top of the earring snaps open. Not only can you wear the earring now, it also looks as if there's a secret compartment inside the earring. Let's shake it. Anything in there? You shake the earring, but nothing comes out. Whatever was inside the earring is gone now. Cool. This ancient copper earring has a series of grooves cut along the inside. Although there doesn't appear to be any obvious way to wear it, it can be unlocked by hooking your fingernail into the third groove from the top and pressing inwards. Not only does this allow the earring to be worn, but it also opens up a hollow compartment inside the earring where messages or other small items can be stored. The earring might be worth more to a merchant as a result. Unfortunately, we still don't have a key. Let's try seeing if the crowbar can unlock this door. By unlock, I just mean bash it open.
Failed.
No. Alright, then we're missing something probably from upstairs. I wonder which which of these it was.
Done. I'm gone.
Careful, we don't want to walk too close to that. Hello, sir.
All right. I'm gone.
We were right behind him, he just didn't notice me before. Alright, let's recheck these again. Though I think I checked all these before.
All right.
What's the word, Chief? Sure, why not?
Missing a key. Where could it be? Oh, we can try the crowbar on that door.
Done. Done. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Look, I just want to search the thing you're by.
Good as done. Locked.
I'm gone.
And I can't. She really doesn't want to leave that.
Failed.
Okay. Maybe there's a thing down here I didn't search. Oh! It was right there.
Okay.
How about that? Let's take a look at that key really quick. This heavy key is a strange fusion of bone and an unidentifiable blood-red metal. Its jagged C-shaped head looks like it's ready to clamp down on whoever holds it. This key is used to open the inner gates in the mortuary.
All right. I'm gone.
No reason why we shouldn't open all the doors
I'm gone.
now.
Done.
A hammer. We
What's up?
don't need it. Our crowbar does, I think, as much
I'm
damage
gone.
as a hammer would do. Hey, okay, we're back here again. So that leads... This is where we came from, and that's a new direction. We can go down now. But we're going to explore this one room we haven't actually opened yet.
I'm gone.
Yeah, good as done.
Oh, there's something on the floor here. Some debris? What is this?
I'm gone.
2 bandages and some rags.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
This especially ghastly-looking female corpse is missing its ears, nose, and lips. In order to sew her jaw closed, whoever prepared her had to draw the skin especially tight around her mouth. You can still see a line of crooked, yellow teeth through the open slit that remains. The number 891 has been carved into the flesh of her brow.
Hello, deadly and delicious.
All right.
That's really disturbing.
All right. Done.
Alright, looks like we can open up this gate now. So let's do it. I guess
Good
we're
as
going
done.
downstairs.
All right.
This doddering corpse has had its eyes sewn shut as well as its mouth, and the number 732 is carved into its brow. The threadwork that keeps its ocular cavities sealed looks extremely old. You wonder if the eyes were sewn shut before or after the man's death. You notice he is carrying a huge tome in his hands, as if taking it somewhere. Let's take the tome from his hands, carefully. We have a good deck, so we should be able to just take it. You carefully take the tome from the corpse's hands. It doesn't seem to notice. The tome appears to be a book of enchantments and wards. It is filled with diagrams and charts detailing various aspects of the necromantic arts. The book itself is extremely heavy. As awkward as a zombie is, it must be extremely strong.
All right. I'm gone.
Huh? Okay.
Let's take a look at this book. The Tome of Bone and Ash. This worn leather-bound tome lists diagrams and charts detailing several minor wards and enchantments. There are numerous drawings of skeletons' bones and the manner by which they may be preserved over time. Of particular interest is the section regarding guardians. Apparently the dustmen animate corpses of fallen giants to serve as guardians for the mortuary. To make them even deadlier, armor enchantments are woven into their breastplates to help shield them from attacks. The book is much too complex for you to absorb all at once, but it looks as if you could refer to certain sections if the need arises. Alright, let's walk around down here then. Okay, so this is like a barrel vault, so the ceiling of this place probably resembles a cathedral. Another rusty, blood-covered slab.
Sure, why not?
The corpse stares ahead silently with its sightless eyes. Farewell then, zombie worker.
All right.
Oh, another dustman. So, we're not lost. I'm here to see someone. We're here to see Doll. Thank you very much. This reanimated male corpse has the numbers 1041 carved into its forehead. Despite its taunt, desiccated flesh, it is apparent that its features once had a rather exotic cast to them. The zombie's lips have been stitched closed, most likely to prevent it from moaning incessantly, and it smells strongly of formaldehyde. This heavy barred gate of rusted steel, there doesn't appear to be any way of opening it.
Done.
We should walk around like in a small circle. Actually, let's talk to Mort really quick.
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
Anything new to talk about? Nope.
All right.
Oh wow, look at this skeleton. Giant skeleton. Before you is a giant skeleton in ornate bronze armor. The armor has been bolted onto the skeleton's frame, and a series of elaborate symbols have been carved across the breastplate. You wonder where the skeleton came from. You weren't aware they made humans in this size. The huge blade in its hands looks like it weighs as much as a wagon cart. Wow, I think it just kill you just by blunt trauma, but it'll probably just probably just decapitate you or just begin lopping off limbs. Mind if I hold that blade for a second? You must be getting tired of holding it. The skeleton looks too long dead to answer any of your questions. Either that, or its head is too high up for it to hear you. Let's examine him carefully. The skeleton's intricate bronze armor is riveted onto its ribcage and shoulder blades with a series of iron bolts. As you study the frame behind the armor, you notice the same iron bolts are set into the skeleton's shoulder, elbow, pelvic, and knee joints. A mass of thick leather cords and heavy knotted ropes run along the length of the skeleton's arms and legs, woven in such a pattern that they resemble muscles and tendons. Let's examine the armor. It's interesting it's giving me the choice to do this. Despite the armor's obvious age, it looks well cared for. It shines brightly, and the symbols engraved on the breastplate seem to flow in the firelight, shifting slightly whenever you try to focus on them. Alright, let's stare at the symbols a little bit more. Almost unconsciously, you let your gaze relax as you look at the symbols. After a moment, the symbols cease shifting and resolve into a trail of runes that run up and down the breastplate. Strangely enough, the interlocking pattern of runes reminds you of chains. And with that thought, you suddenly recall that these runes are some sort of warding enchantment. Can I recall the enchantment? You study the runes for a while, but you can't decipher the enchantment. It looks pretty complicated, and you're having a hard time concentrating. Okay, so either our wisdom or intelligence, or both, are too low for this. Let's compare the runes to the runes in the Book of Tome and Ash. You consult the tome and compare the diagrams to the markings on the breastplate. From what you can make out, the runes are a lesser armoring enchantment, but several skull-shaped runes and spherical tracings along the edges of the armor suggest that several greater necromantic and warding enchantments are woven in as well. Touching the skeleton will most likely cause it to awaken and defend itself. Can we break this? Let's consult the book. From what you can make out from the tome, it seems the armoring enchantment applies only to the breastplate. The necromantic enchantment allows a skeleton to be raised, but it's the warding enchantment that gives a skeleton its limited awareness of its surroundings. You'd guess that if you were to mar the skeleton's wards, it would interpret it as an attack, unless you blinded it to your presence first. Okay, so then we should probably mar the runes maintaining the warding enchantment first, then work backwards to the rune pattern, cancelling the necromantic, and then the armoring enchantments. Oh, it scared me. The work is difficult and nerve-wracking at first, but slowly your mind begins to focus, and the runes begin to unravel beneath your attack. Within minutes, the giant skeleton has been stripped of the enchantments binding it. It collapses, falling to the floor with a crash of bones and a heavy clanging noise. Damn pile of bones. You wait for a moment, but no one responds to the sound. Moving quickly, you sift through the skeleton's parts on the floor. Most of it is too heavy or too old to be useful. But you discover a piece of the skeleton's breastplate, with the majority of one of the broken enchantments engraved on it. You have a feeling that it could prove useful. I'll just take it then. Nice. So we picked up a rune of lesser warding. It invokes armor. Upon closer examination of the runes covering the surface of this breastplate, you think you might be able to unlock the rune's power and use it to invoke a primitive warding enchantment, similar to the one that protected the giant skeleton. Activating the rune will destroy the breastplate, however. So this, I guess, is the equivalent of a spell scroll, or I seem to remember it being the case. We can probably use it to inscribe armor to our spellbook, if we ever are able to do that.
I'm gone.
Or, I'm sorry, a mage can scribe it into their spellbook. Oh, here's another skeleton. Can we do the same thing to this one? Let's see. So how long have you been standing here? A long time? The skeleton looks too long dead to answer any of your questions. Either that, or its head is too high for you to hear. Let's see if we can dispel the enchantments again. So, as before, I want to mar the runes maintaining the warding first, and then work backwards, cancelling the necromantic, and then the armoring last.
I feel stronger.
We leveled up, everyone. Awesome. We also got another armor. Another armoring armor. So we just earned our first level. The way leveling works in this game is that, well, you don't level up until you hit level up, and then you get to... Oh, and then anything that applies to you applies to you. So let's go ahead and see what happens to us, the nameless one. So, because we were a fighter, we gained 10 hit points. A fighter gains 1 through 10. I am running a mod that always gives me the maximum hit points whenever I level up. We also earn 1 characteristic point. This doesn't happen to anyone else in our group. It only happens to us as the nameless one. So we can increase one of our stats by 1 point. I believe this will always happen whenever we gain a level. I'm going to put this point into Wisdom to give me more experience points and help me try to get more memories. This will probably be the last point I will be putting into Wisdom. I think next I'm going to increase my Dex once, and then Intelligence probably twice, and then begin working on Charisma a little bit too. Okay. So, did that take effect? It should have. Yep, our Thaco also got lowered by 1 because we are a fighter.
All right. Done.
And there's a crescent hatchet here. 2 through 7 slashing. Thaco, -1. Oh, it's like cursed. And it's slow. This huge hatchet has a crescent-shaped head. Although an intimidating weapon, it looks more decorative than functional. Not only is it extremely heavy, but the balance is poor, and the edge is dull and pitted. Despite the difficulty in using the hatchet in combat, the long handle allows the wielder to put considerable force into the swing. Well, we don't need this, so this can stay here.
All right.
I guess we'll search the rest of this large chamber. Yep, just in case there's other skeletons.
I'm gone.
Because if we can take them apart and earn 800
Sure, why
experience
not?
points,
Done.
we might level Mort in here too. So we'll try to dispel it. As before, we'll get rid of the warding first, and necromantic, and then armoring. Dispelling the enchantment is much easier this time around, and the runes quickly unravel beneath your attack. Within minutes, the giant skeleton has been stripped of the enchantments binding it. Remembering what happened to the first, you catch the skeleton before it falls, and with a grunt, slowly lower it to the ground. Let's see what we got this time. You quickly rummage through the skeleton's remains and, once again, uncover a piece of the skeleton's breastplate. Like the first, this one also has a fragment of its broken enchantment engraved on it. It could prove useful.
Looks like my skills have increased.
Cool.
I'm gone.
And Mort gained a level.
What?
So we'll level him up. And he gained 10 hit points with an extra 2, so 12 total, thanks to him being a fighter. His fighting skills have also improved. And it looks like, how did they improve? His Thaco got lowered again. Oh, once again, we know what to do here. So once again, we're going to dispel the enchantments. And we're going to do the warding first. And we got a shield one this time around. Upon closer examination of the runes covering the surface of this breastplate, you think you might be able to unlock the rune's power and use it to invoke a primitive warding enchantment. Okay, so this is the same wording though, but it's a different spell altogether. We're gonna give this one to Mort, because I'd be at half my max carry weight by just even holding on to that in my inventory.
All right.
Everyone, I'm going to take a break here. Thank you for watching. When we come back, we'll explore more of the mortuary. I'll see you guys then.